Nobody knows what they actually hate about modern games. Everybody just regurgitates the same funny criticisms or talking points that they see online, and since a large mass of people are already saying the same thing, mob mentality kicks in and people genuinely believe they're right. The main thing you see people complain about is art direction, and it's always the first thing that people say just to find something to complain about. I swear, I've seen it in almost every single game that's releasing these days. Everybody just complains about art and tone as if it actually means anything to them. Honestly, I don't think it does. Not that it doesn't matter to me, I genuinely don't think it matters to other people the way they think it does matter to them. Just so you guys understand, let me give you a few examples, starting with the first one, which is probably going to be the longest. Black Ops 7, right? No one likes it. No one's going to buy it. We're all going to move to Battlefield 6. Let's go. We hype. Now, I'm not an Activision glazier. That's fine if people want to move on and not buy the game. Go ahead. Like, I swear, like, it's not a big deal. But what's really annoying is the reason everybody has for disliking COD and moving on. If you've seen any discussion regarding this topic, you'll know that the #1 most voiced concern and dislike people have about BO6 right now is the skins. They're ruining the immersion and the dark vibe Call of Duty is supposed to give you. This is not true. The reason the player base dropped so quickly after being the largest COD launch ever is not because it's a pink girl skin. I can promise you that. I swear, mob mentality is literally unmatched, especially when it comes to hate. People made so many of these false criticisms online that Activision decided to listen and said that skins won't carry forward to the next BO7. You know what? Let's go, everybody. The franchise is saved. Let's buy the game. Let's run it up. No, that's not how it works. They're just going to release new skins. And even if they don't, and they move to a more realistic portrayal of war and soldiers, no one is going to care or come back. People complain so much about a non-issue that they actually listened. Imagine if people voiced real issues or concerns. Here, let me list you some real issues that maybe, if enough people voiced, they could have listened just like they did for the stupid skin problem. Zombies maps were all made to be the same. Although I actually did enjoy some of the zombies features, like the rampage inducer, the mastery camos, which the requirements were way too high, were nice, PhD slider movement, there was a very big issue that just can't be overlooked. Each map is played the exact same, just with different steps. You probably understand what I mean, but let me explain just in case. Think about Der Eisendrache versus Grad Krovi. In order to progress in these maps, there are different gameplay mechanics you must engage in. In Gorod, you have to call and defend 3 modules, and go to the hatchery riding a dragon to earn Pack-a-Punch, which will also lead you to doing a lockdown that you must survive, but it'll also give you access to a dragon strike, and then you can help nurture and incubate a dragon egg, which will allow you to have a unique pet dragon specialist ability. In Der Eisendrache, you have to travel the map and teleport around 3 pieces to unlock Pack-a-Punch. Then collect 3 parts by activating a lever during launch test, killing a Panzer, and activating the death ray to unlock the Ragnarok specialist ability. And then you also have 4 unique upgrade paths depending on what bow you choose to level, and you can do as many of them as you want, on top of the fact that you have to unlock the original bow by feeding 3 dragons around the map. There are other maps you can include like Maw of the Dead, Origins, Buried, Zetsubo, but I just did those 2 for time's sake. On top of each map having different mechanics for progression, your tools in each map were unique. You had different equipment, specialists, and wonder weapons. In BO6, each map's progression was basically 95% the same. You do some very straightforward basic steps to unlock Pack-a-Punch, and you're basically done. There are no unique specialists you can unlock because those have been replaced by field upgrades, which are used across every map. There's no unique equipment because those are also used across every single map. While they did have different wonder weapons, 3 of the 6 maps had reskinned wonder weapons instead of new weapons. The steps for unlocking the Beam Smasher, Gorg effects, and especially the swords. I actually really like the swords. Were nice, but that was practically all that was major to do in their own maps. This led to every single map feeling and playing basically the exact same. That's not a healthy thing for the game mode overall. This is all on top of the fact that none of the main squad left much of an impression on me. I played mainly as Weaver and Maya, and I swear this isn't nostalgia bias or whatever, but Primus crew was just way better. They're way more expressive and eccentric compared to the new squad, which just gave them all that much more flair.
I think I like you, Dr. Monty. You have balls. Gumballs.
Did you hear the one about the drunk Russian? Of course you did. He's fucking stereotype. How about if I was Scottish? Do you like the swallowing all, eh?
Alongside the fact that we actually got to see them act differently in their own respective cutscenes was just added way more to their character. Both Takeo and Nikolai talking and resonating with their old selves just made them that much more likable. There was also the ending cutscene on Black Ops 4, but that's an ending and the current crew's story hasn't really ended yet, so we'll have to wait and see before I can really make a comparison. I gotta say though, I really enjoyed the boss fights, especially the Richtofen one with how punishing it was and how strategic you had to play. The Tomb boss fight was also really nice with how you had to do some mechanics mid-fight. I really do think they should head in that direction of harder to execute boss fights with mechanics. That's really fun. And don't forget the absolute bangers we got from Alina Sigmund and Maluka. I'm telling you, these are some of the best songs in the franchise. I don't care. Falling to Pieces and Remember Us are still playing on repeat to this day. Why is Private Match missing so many essential features? For the longest time, ever since the olden days of COD, I can play a private match with friends, Go into the settings, ban certain items like perks, weapons, all the way down to a single attachment. But for some reason, for the last 6 years, ever since MW19, this normal basic ass feature is just gone. For what reason? Now I gotta rely on the word of a bunch of friends who can't listen or cooperate for their lives. RPGs, shotguns, bouncing betties, everywhere. Also, whenever I start the match, I can't cancel it. Like why? Like for why? Alright, I'm starting it.
Bro, don't start it. Don't start it yet.
I can't. I already started.
What do you mean you can't? I gotta fix something. Don't start it. Don't start it.
It won't let me. Just how the game is, I can't. There's no reason for that to be the case. It sounds like such a basic, normal feature, right? But why doesn't it exist? Another feature just deleted was being able to play any mode on any map. This is something you actually could do back in MW19. So if you want to play with a large group of friends on a tiny map, any game mode you want, by the way, you could do it. You can play free-for-all or gun game on a smaller gunfight map to make things more chaotic and fun, but that's a feature just lost to time. If you want to play free-for-all or gun game, you have to play it on one of the bigger maps, and you can never play them on the smaller face-off maps. That will make things more hectic and fun. It's like as we release titles, we add or remove features that are so basic and essential that it just hurts my head so much, and like they don't do anything about it. It makes me develop this hatred. Like, how can a dev team be this dumb, and why is no one saying anything about it? Something about multiplayer that's not really private match related is just basically how it's unplayable. You know, if we want to hop on public match and maybe play some search and destroy, the experience is just ruined because everybody's shotgun corner camping with shock charges and spring mines, and you literally just aren't allowed to play the game. They gotta make a separate game mode that isn't ranked, where dumb stuff like that just isn't usable. The campaign stories are just so bland. It's like they're trying to recreate what they did with Black Ops 1, again, in Cold War and BO6, but it's just not working. 2 games in a row, we get a main character that doesn't speak. 2 games in a row, we get a story that's trying to be centered around some mind-bending plot twist. 2 games in a row, we get new characters who don't leave much of an impression. 2 games in a row, we don't get the original James C. Burns as Woods. I mean, gameplay aside, which was pretty cool and fun, the main draw, aka the story and characters, always leaves much to be desired. I remember in the trailers, they marketed Marshall a lot, and I was actually really excited for him. He looked pretty badass, and I thought he was going to be the protagonist, but in the end, you just play alongside him, and he's not that interesting. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I actually did like that German guy. What was his name? Yeah, Felix Newman. This guy actually could have been so good. They were trying to go somewhere with his whole like struggle with violence and all that. I actually really liked him. Now, if you do care about spoilers, skip to this time right here. We also get top 5 trope of all time. Character who wasn't there for like 80% of the story turns out to be the one the plot twist was centered around. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really remember much, which is for a reason, and I don't feel like replaying. So yeah, in all, gameplay was nice. Stories still failed to even scratch the monuments that were Black Ops 1 and 2. The quality of life is just so bad. The game takes way too much space for textures and graphics that A, people don't even care about, and B, aren't even there. Like, look at this ugly ass character model. The game is always randomly resetting my operator and finishing move back to default for no reason, just randomly, and it's so annoying. I gotta correct it every single time, and sometimes whenever I make a new loadout, it just gets deleted, and I can't use it in game. Then I have to remake it multiple times, like for no reason. I'll make a new loadout, it gets deleted, and I just have to remake it. Bro, people are deadass saying that they miss the fact that you would play as a certain team like Spetsnaz or Mercenary back in the older games, and that would influence how player models look. Also, depending on what type of gun you were holding, like a sniper or an SMG, you would have a different outfit, and it added to the immersion and realism that they missed so much about the older COD. Also, the guns back then were named after their real life counterparts, and someone deadass said they could go and do some research on the guns in real life and learn about them. Stop. These people don't know what they actually dislike about the game, and they just don't know what else to say, so they're gonna go with the trend. Their younger selves did not care about those aspects one bit. Younger you did not care that the gun was named AK-47, or that the guy holding the sniper had a ghillie suit on and he looked different than the guy holding the SMG and people look like real soldiers, okay? That has never mattered and never will, especially when we had plenty of iconic, original, non-real guns like VMP, PDW, A94, Ballista, Brecci, MSMC, Man-O-War, and not to mention the dumb-looking skins in BO3. And trust me, I play with someone who rocks a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle skin. It's one of the ugliest things ever, and it's so dumb to look at. I also know someone who bought the American Dad skin. I think it's pretty silly and dumb, but it'll never be a real issue that's holding the game back and actively making it objectively worse. We were never immersed and felt like we're in the brutality of war when we were just playing Team Deathmatch and Hijacked back in 2012. We were just playing the game to run around and shoot people. That stuff was never a major contributing factor to our experience. Oh, and zombies was never scary. I don't know why people used to actually be scared when playing it. I was 8 years old in Kino when the dog round hit, and I was never scared. People just want something to complain about, and they either don't know what to complain about or just listen to what everyone else says and follows it, either for views or to fit in. If people are going to make so many videos and false complaints about something that won't affect the game meaningfully in any way, and then they actually listen, I just wish that other complaints were made instead. I just want to circle back to the tweet where they said they were going to remove carry forward, and I want to point out just how corny these comments are. Alright, look what we got here. Competition is good, isn't it? Battlefield 6 to Call of Duty fans. Thank you so much, bro. Competition breeds excellence. What excellence are you getting from this change? L-Take. A skin filter could have been the easiest path to make those who want the immersion happy and those who enjoy the unique and wild skins happy as well. For those celebrating this as a win, really forget how long the community was begging for carry forward, and now you're celebrating what should be a perk to be taken away. Wild. Like, this is perfectly said. Taking out a beneficial, objectively good feature for something so inconsequential is just dumb. It's bad. Yo, no way, another smart take. Skins aren't what killed your game. No innovation over the past 5 to 10 years on a yearly release schedule is what killed your game. I only play zombies for nostalgia purposes, otherwise catch me on Battlefield 6. I can't believe it. An actual meaningful comment and opinion. There's no way. Damn, I love competition. Yeah, that competition is going to give you the same exact Call of Duty. Alright, this is actually crazy. As I was writing this, the new Replacer trailer dropped for BO7. Now, I'm not going to lie, it's pretty bad, which is unfortunate because I was a big fan of the Replacer trailers. But besides it being bad, people are still saying the same thing. So the comments are mainly pointing out how out of touch the company is and all that, you know, yada yada, which doesn't even matter because even if they change the tone or whatever, it won't influence anything about the game or the player base as much as people want to say otherwise. Now, look, what they're also saying is, wait, what?
Oh my God! Oh my God!
But I don't really need to go too much into it. You get what I mean. People really are just speaking just to speak, not to actually say anything meaningful. Now, its direct competitor, Battlefield 6, is being praised for having that realistic, grounded military feel that everyone yearns for when gaming, right? Look, we even have this video here explaining why Battlefield 6 sold so much. Now, I know they mentioned that in the comments they don't believe that this is actually why the game sold well, but look at these other comments. And for some reason, people are always making these videos about every game where they compare scenery from older games to newer games. Like, another example would be Destiny 2. It's not in the best spot right now. However, I will say it is getting better, but they released an update that brought back these old areas from the first game, and since the game is in like such a bad spot right now, people made the art direction complaint again, which literally didn't matter because it's borderline unplayable. Like, they did it just because why not? It's the new smart thing to complain about that everybody else is doing. Like, here, look at this video of someone comparing it from the first game compared to the second game. Besides the fact that there's a lore reason for it looking less vibrant and alive, it literally doesn't matter. People were genuinely complaining about this as if they were gonna play the game anyways. The wires being red and there being some lava wasn't gonna make you excited to run the game up. The recent actual gameplay fixes they implemented are what helped and got some people back into it, although I do still think it needs some work. Look, even though I didn't want to do it, I gotta go back to BO7. They even compared the old farm map to the new farm map, and me personally, I like the new farm look way more. I'm not gonna lie, I hated the green fog everywhere in the old one. I didn't really think it added to the eeriness or whatever. I did like the fog in Silent Hill 2 though, peak. But yeah, a foggier map is not gonna make you start the game. And even when the original first look trailer for Borderlands 4 dropped, what happened? Oh my god, the playable characters don't look interesting enough. They look so bland. The NPCs look way better. Bro, it's a first-person game where you can customize the design of your character. Like, come on, it's just getting old. People need to start making real complaints. But yeah, this is basically all I have to say. I know this video was mainly about COD, but it was the one with the most traction and the one that was annoying me the most. But yeah, please let me know anything you disagree with in the comments. I'm actually excited to engage in discussion and learn some new perspectives. And thank you so much for watching to the end.